Hello, welcome. I'm Steve Watson here at Someday Farm with today's Tàijíquán Tip. And today's tip is about communicating with your teacher, speaking with your teacher, particularly asking questions of your teacher. And generally speaking, we're going to presume you have a qualified and experienced teacher here. But generally, a teacher will have many answers to any given question. And person A may get one answer, person B may get another, student C may get another, and sometimes your student ABC through a period of time, week to week, month to month, year to year, and you may get different answers. And one of the challenges is that the first answer that we get is usually our baseline, right? That's what we compare and contrast and perhaps argue with any other answers down the road are. And so we often take whatever our first answer is to be the best answer, the basis of every other bit of understanding. And then that can get us into trouble when that first answer was really just the answer that was off the student's, off the top of the teacher's head, you know, or most related to where you were in your practice as far as your teacher could tell, or most related to the theme of the class the teacher was in the middle of teaching when you asked that question, or just what's been on the teacher's mind, what they're working on, right? So if I'm working on a bunch of Qigong stuff and somebody asks me a question in Taijiquan, in my mind, I think, oh boy, there's like 17 good answers here, but I've been thinking about Qigong. That's what I've been researching lately. So better chance than usual that I'm going to answer in terms of Qigong. And if that's the first time that you've had that question or been exposed to that answer, that'll probably serve as a basis for your understanding of that principle or that technique or that combination or whatever it is. This happens in applications quite often, right? Like, what is this for? And the teacher might say, well, it's for this. If a guy, has your arm, this is what we do. And then that's going to very likely be forever what you think that move is or is as a default. And everything else that you hear about it, if indeed you hear anything else, is likely to come into to challenge that initial understanding. And that means that you don't have room for new stuff. Your cup is full. And so the tip here is to presume that there are many answers for a given question. Here I'm thinking about applications, but it could apply to other things. And since your teacher is going to be human, right, it's very easy for you to ask a question that seeks a singular answer, such as, uh, you know, why do we do this? Uh, and the teacher hears that and provides a singular answer. But for the teacher, it's one of many possibilities. But you hear it as, here's what it is. Everything else I hear down the road in my studies is going to be in contrast and comparison, maybe competition or conflict with that idea. Whereas for the teacher, they just, well, out of the 17 things, I reach into my bag. Oh, you know what? Here's an answer, right? One answer. So recognizing that the teacher may hear a question as asking for uh, a singular reply, try and form your questions, and this is the basis of the tip today, try and form your questions such that they show the teacher that you're presuming multiple possibilities. This can remind the teacher to phrase the question in a way that doesn't disallow multiple possibilities or doesn't narrow down or indeed elevate the answer they happen to give you to be elevated to a point that it suggests it's the best or original or default answer. So uh, so uh, I'm sure this is for a lot of different things. Can you give me one of the examples of a case in which we might use this move? That suggests to the teacher that you're aware that it likely has many uses. If it only has one use, the teacher can shoot you down right there and say, no, it's only for this. Okay, that was pretty specific. But it does encourage the teacher not to reply with the what I most often hear, which is, this is for this. This move is for cases like this, and that's it. As opposed to, well, one way that we could think of it is this, Another way, in terms of TCM, we can think of it in terms of this. When we do this move, but it's in a meditative situation, what we do is da da da. And so the Tàijíquán tip for today is for you to formulate your questions so that they show the teacher that you are expecting multiple possibilities for a question, and to perhaps hint to them that they can provide their answer in a way that seems less singular uh, and definitive and narrow, but that suggests that, well, one of the many possibilities is this. I happen to be in the mood for teaching kicks today, so that's going to be how I reply to it. But please don't take it for all time that kicking is the basic function of this move. It's just one of the possibilities and the one that came up. So thank you for that. I certainly wish you um, great practice, great teachers, great practice partners, and a deep befriending of the principles of these arts. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for donating.